Kia ora, Grant Whitbourne back again for video 2 in this 5-part video series on questions for new beginners in Te Reo Māori. Now, in the last video, we looked at the word who. Today, we're going to look at when. So, who was yesterday? Hopefully, you've already checked that video. And today, we're going to be looking at the word when. Now, when we're talking about when, most of the time, in fact, I think all of the time, we're talking about when in two different cases. When did and when will. We're talking about past tense and future tense. So today we're going to be covering off those two questions because they are two completely, although quite similar, different questions. They're two different words, two different sentence structures that we're going to be looking at. So jump across the screencast and check this out. And if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. So when will versus when did. I'm going to start with when did. So we'll jump straight into it. The word that we're looking at is no na hea. When did as the question. Now, if I put this into a sentence, we have to use a particular sentence structure when we're writing this. So no na hea, then we need to talk about the thing. So when did something do something is the sentence structure we're looking at. So here we're just going to go, when did the kuri no na hea te kuri. Now, when we're using this sentence structure, we need to add in an I, and then what the kuri did, or what the thing that we're talking about did, and we need I at the end. So what we've got here is when did the dog. We've got I, which we need to have in there. Mate, meaning die, and then I. Sorry, it's a little bit sad, this video, but it's only for illustrative purposes, so it's okay. So when did the dog die? So no na hea te kuri I mate ai. That's the first question we're looking at. Here, te kuri, we could put anything in there, anything that we want to interrogate about. So when did the dog? We can talk about the house, the bus, the person, my sister, your auntie, all those sorts of things. That's where we put them in here. This spot over here, mate, where we've got die, this is where we need to put the action. So when we're talking about something happening, that's where we put the happening word. So when did the dog die? When was the dog born? When did the dog sit? When did the dog stand, bark, run, shout, scream, whatever dogs do? That's where we put those doing words in this part here. So how do we respond to this question? Now, I'm going to go with a really simple response. I don't want to overwhelm you completely, but this is I guess a very versatile response that you can use there. So what we can do is no, and then the word tera. No tera, then we can add in the time. So we're looking at words like, week, month, year, all those sorts of things. So no tera, I'm just going to put week. No tera wiki. Same structure. Te kuri, I mate ai. Last week, the dog died. Now, when we're using no tera, you might have seen the word tera pop up before. It's usually linked with those other two words. Tēnei, tēnā, and tera. Tēnei meaning this near me. Tēnā meaning that near you, the person I'm speaking to, and tera meaning that thing over there. Tera, the thing way over there. In this sense, it's kind of what's building here is no tera, that over there. So it's that week over there, and we're going to use tera again when we look at when will something happen. It's a very similar structure, but what you'll see is that it's used in the same sense. So from this point in time right now, we're talking about in the past. Tera, no tera wiki, that week over there. When we're talking about in the future, which is Aotearoa wiki, that week over there. We're here in this point of time. We're talking about that point of time in the future. Aotearoa, no tera. A little bit confusing to try and explain, but hopefully once you start seeing it on the screen and learning more about it, it'll make a little bit more sense. So, no tera wiki te kuri I mate ai. I'm going to clear all this. So the next one we're looking at is, actually I won't clear it. I'll just scroll down to a new page. the next word we're looking at is āhea. So up here, we were looking at no nahia, which means when did, āhea meaning when will. You can see there's a lot of similarities here between no nahia and āhea. Āhea is essentially no nahia without the non, N-O-N at the start. So no nahia and āhea. When will something happen? Very similar structure. No nahia te kuri I mate ai. Āhea te kuri. Now we don't need to add I when we're talking about things in the future, when will. So āhea te kuri noho ai. When will the dog sit? When will the dog sit? Āhea te kuri noho ai. Now, you'll notice between the two of these, and I think this is a really interesting thing to note, especially if you're a new learner. Just going to zoom in a bit more. When we're saying no nahia te kuri I mate ai, the translation is when did the dog die? When we say āhea te kuri noho ai, when will the dog sit? Now, those two sentences are very, very similar in structure, and I'm referencing word order here to how we would say it in English. So when we're talking about these when sentences, they are somewhat similar to English in the word order, which may or may not. I think it may actually help you when you're learning. A lot of the other sorts of sentences we need to learn the word order changes around between the English and Māori. So when we are learning those, sometimes that can make it a little bit more confusing, but with these sentences, that's somewhat a bit easier to follow. So āhea te kuri noho ai. And like I said before, we're going to have tērā te kuri. Oops. Tērā, we'll just say marama, month. Te kuri noho ai. Next month, the dog will sit. It'll be standing for a long time, that poor kuri. Tērā marama te kuri noho ai. And this is really just for illustrative purposes. So this can really be any sort of time. This can be any sort of thing. Like I said before, it could be dog, cat, person, you know, house, tree, and then the action here. What is this dog doing at this time in the future? It's doing this. It's sitting. You know, it could be sitting, could be standing, talking, drinking, dying, all those sorts of things. So that's a breakdown for you at home of no nahia, when did, and āhea, when will, for when we're talking about when something will happen. So far we've looked at who, now we've looked at when. Next we're going to look at where. Who, when, no, what. We're going to look at what. Sorry, this is getting confusing. Who, when, what. Make sure you check out the next video in this series because we're going to be looking at what as a question.